Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Cosmic Cassie if you're new. Welcome back if you are not. Capricorn, this is going to be your love and relationship reading for the month of September. We are going to look at career and finance later in the month, as well as your new moon and full moon readings. But for now, we are just doing love and relationships. So do not take it if it does not resonate. Always check out your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs if you want more readings. I always recommend doing the rising sign because it's a lot more accurate and punctual energy, because it does not shift the same way that like your other signs would shift. And so it's going to be more accurate, more precise for sure. Oh, I think I got some of them upside down here. There we go. So let's go ahead and jump into it, Capricorn, and see what is going on for you guys in the month of September with love and relationships. Show me, Capricorn, love and relationships. Capricorn, love and relationships. Ooh, don't want to take that many. Capricorn, love and relationships. Here we go. All right. So, this divergence card has been coming out a lot, actually. Capricorn, immediately as these came out, I kind of got messages about each one. So, overall what I got here, and I am gonna mix the deck. So these are the red, and I'm gonna end up using the blue because I saw that before I started the reading that I needed to do it that way, so we are. With adversary, I feel like this is a feeling of defeat. This is a feeling of like trying to fight for something on your own, feeling like it's a losing battle, like maybe feeling like it's your fault, something is not going the right way. It's just an overall sense of defeat when it comes to relationships. Like, just there's this very personal energy of like, I can't get it right, or it's not going right. You know, I keep trying and it's not working, and you know, and I don't get that it's just with a single relationship or like a single situation. It's almost like there's like this reoccurring cycle of like this defeated energy where it's like I keep trying over and over and over and it just keeps not working. And then we are followed by spring, and that gives me a sense of renewal, a sense of rejuvenation, that it's almost like the grief that gets released is going to be the energy that actually lets us start over and kind of renew everything. And with divergence, that's the total transformation. That's the spring is like the growth, but the divergence is I grew a rose instead of a tulip this time. Clarify adversary for me. Clarify adversary. Show me adversary. Yeah, this is definitely feeling like you're fighting against yourself. Falling is what clarifies adversary. And that's kind of the energy that is there, is like, it's like this self-defeated energy. I'm my own enemy, like I'm my own worst enemy, fighting against myself, feeling really like disappointed, or like even some of this despair energy. And with falling, clarifying it, it's like you just keep falling. You just somehow, why do I keep falling? You know, and it's, for some of you, it's emotionally. It's like you keep falling into these like pits of certain emotions that then like are vital, and they wreak havoc on your relationship because it makes you a different person. It turns you into someone you're not. And then when that emotional state is over, you're back to yourself, and then you're looking at all the damage that you've caused, and it's like blacking out almost. And it's like, oh my gosh, I did it again. Why did I do that? Why can't I stop myself from doing this? What was the problem? Like, what's happening here? Why is this happening over and over again? Because that falling definitely gives me this sense of an emotional fall. Like, And it does feel like almost like a blackout, where it's like, I don't feel like I have a sense of control over my emotions right now. So anything that I do in this emotional state, it's like I can't control it. This is just how I am. And then I come out of it and it's like, oh, wow, who did all that destruction? And it's like, you did, buddy. And so this is very much like just feeling extremely disappointed and feeling like you're your own enemy, trying to fight against yourself, not being able to. You keep losing against yourself. There's this defeated energy. Show me spring. Show me spring. Show me spring. Show me spring. The reflection. So this is a very beautiful energy. And I feel like this is what's taking place in September. It emotionally, energetically, it literally feels like I'm being rained on. Like it feels like it's not a thunderstorm, but it feels like heavy rain just comes out of nowhere and it becomes light showers. And then there's like a rainbow and it's like the rain transforms it. The rain clears it away. The rain releases it, is how it feels. So for you, Capricorn, I feel like that's the main energy you're going to be going through in September. Is it's going to feel like rain. It's going to feel like sadness, like loss, like grief. It's going to feel like even floods, like where it's like, oh, this is too much. I'm overwhelmed. This is emotionally overwhelmed. Like this deep heartache or despair kind of feeling. But that is actually the feeling that you need to feel in order to release it. And once it's released, that's when like you can change whatever this is, because this does feel like it's tied into like avoided trauma or like wounds and like subconscious thinking. Like it's tied into some kind of pain here that we avoid, that we actively dodge it, actively choose to not address it at all. And it's kind of like we just pushed it down and suppressed it and pretended like I don't have to face this because it's in the past and it's too painful to face it. But for whatever reason, the way it likes to show itself and remind you that it's still there is in these like almost emotional blackout moments that create a lot of destruction in your love life, in your relationships with other people. And so when you finally face that emotion, when you finally allow it to come close enough to the surface that you recognize it and you embrace it rather than push it down and suppress it, that's going to be the rainy feeling. That's going to be the floods. So there's, it's up to you if you choose to do that or not, but there's an opportunity to face something that is deeply rooted in you, in your energy, and it is going to surface for you. It's going to show itself, and you can either deflect and avoid it, or you can face it and feel it. And once you face it and you feel it, as hard and challenging as that might be, because it feels like it feels close to death. It feels like the emotions that I feel, if I allow myself to feel this, it feels like I'm dying. Like it is just the deepest grief ever. But when you face it and you feel it and you grieve it and you mourn it and you allow yourself to like go through that emotion, it gets released and it stops this from happening. It stops these like uncontrollable emotional moments that destroy happy, good things in your life. It stops that from happening. It releases that pattern, that trigger, that wound, whatever you want to call it here. Show me divergence. divergence, we have mortality and defender. So with the divergence, that is the energy of complete transformation. Like I mentioned, this is the energy of, I used to create tulips and now I create roses. This is, the calm after the storm, and the storm washed away everything that you didn't want anymore. So now you have this clear field to do whatever you want to do within that field, right? And with it being clarified by mortality and the defender, this is us actually wanting to, how do I say that? It's like we actually want to fight for something. Not that you've never wanted to fight for something before, but it's like, because this renewal energy is there, we feel motivated. We feel passionate again about fighting for something. And I think that's for love. I think that's for the relationships that you have in your life. It's about fighting to keep them, fighting to have them, fighting to make them better, to make them more successful, to feel more loved in them, to give more love in them. It's like there's this feeling of it's not always going to end with doom and gloom. It's not always going to end in turmoil. And now you feel this like internal rejuvenation and truth internally, that like something has changed. I don't know what's changed, but something has changed, and it's given me a renewed sense of energy to fight for the things that I love and to love the things that I fight for. And it's no longer fighting against myself. It's now fighting for something that I want in my life and something that makes me feel good and happy. It's fighting for the things that create more love in my life and for me. And I can't explain it, but it's like this very internal feeling and knowing, where there's just this clarity, but it's like, but you don't really know what the clarity is on. You don't know what's changed. You don't know. It's like having that burden lifted off your shoulders, and it's like, it physically, energetically feels different when you release a burden that's been holding you down. And it's like you just feel the difference, and that difference inspires you to go get what you love and to be loved. Okay? So it's no more like about, I'm not gonna get what I want because it always ends this way, because this always happens where I sabotage myself and it always ends in this terrible way, and I'm always going to be fighting against myself. It's like, no, that's not the reality. And it's like, you just know it. It's an inner truth. It's an inner feeling that you just know something is different, and I'm not doing this anymore. This has changed. Any advice on how Capricorn should move through this energy in September? Any advice on how Capricorn can best move through this energy in September? I kind of want to just say, let the floodgates open. Decay. Yeah. Let the old skin die. Let the old you die. Allow it to die. Allow it to be buried. Allow yourself to put it to rest. There is a pattern that has been going on with a lot of the zodiac signs, and a lot of it is centered around this energy of allowing the old you to just die away. It's like, it's time, you're trying to grow inside of an old version of yourself, and that doesn't work. You have to just let go of the old version, like allow yourself to release it. And Capricorn, for you guys, to release it means to allow that emotional energy to surface so it can be worked through. Don't suppress those emotions anymore. Like, allow yourself to feel through the pain rather than avoid the pain, and not to get lost in the pain, but just feel it and process it. And it's like a tunnel. You have to walk through the tunnel, and while you're walking through the tunnel, it's dark, but once you get out of the tunnel, it's no longer dark. And that's how it is when you're processing those deep emotions that we kind of don't want to process. It's gonna feel terrible while you're doing it, but you don't want to sit down and get stuck in the tunnel. You have to allow yourself to let that energy move through you, not get stuck in you. Capricorn, I hope this helped. Again, if you want a private reading, cosmiccassie.com is my website. That's in the description box below, and you can book a personal reading there with me. Otherwise, I'll see you guys for my other readings, career and finance, new moon and full moon this month in September. Like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss those. Thanks, Capricorn. Bye.